What's up guys, I'm Kadena with Crypto Now or Never and welcome back to another market update. If you enjoy this style of content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. As always, none of this is financial advice. Let's get into it.
I have a dream, that's all I need. I'll make it happen with some work and belief. Know what I want.
Okay, so obviously the last 24 hours or so has been extremely volatile. We can see that Bitcoin has fallen all the way back down to 85,700. If you look at Ethereum, it's all the way back to 2,800. Now, if you look at the Crypto Fear and Greed Index, you can see that this Fear and Greed Index is showing 20, but if you look at the other one, it's showing 24. I just want to point out that at the time of recording, these have not refreshed yet. To be clear, I'd be very shocked if these don't drop down quite a bit. I don't know exactly how low they'll go, but there's a chance it drops right back down to like that 15 range. And in general, you need to understand where we are at. I try and show this in pretty much every market update. The reality of the Crypto Fear and Greed Index is that it has not been this oversold since one time in February, but then other than that, it has not been this oversold since 2022. And by oversold, I mean extreme fear. And I will talk about that a little more when I actually talk about the Bitcoin chart as well. But again, when you just look throughout the market right now, we are seeing so many huge discounts out there. In the last 24 hours, you're seeing so many projects that are down 8%, 8%, 9%, 10%, 10%, 8%, 7%. Those are the kind of drops in a single day setting that provide an amazing opportunity. Now, am I saying that the market will not or cannot drop lower? Absolutely not. The reality is that the market can always drop lower, but there are certain things from a technical analysis standpoint that would suggest that we might be close to finding a bottom. Now, just for starters, I want to show you guys Bitcoin on the monthly time frame. You know that I've been talking about this time frame for quite some time at this point. And the reason I've been talking about this time frame is because we're retesting the 21 monthly moving average. And you can see that price action did actually drop beneath it. However, the candle got bought up and we still closed above it. This candle closed at 90,382 and this closed yesterday. However, directly after the close, we have seen another huge drop. It's interesting how that happened right after the candle closed, right? But regardless, we're seeing another big drop right now, and you can see that Bitcoin's at 85,844. Regardless, though, it was good to see that this happened after the close. We did not want to close beneath the 21. Now, I know that we are beneath it again right now, but this candle will not actually close until the end of December. But I'm going to continue pointing out some of the same things. The first thing is that if you look at price action, we are swinging up into a higher low, and the RSI is swinging down into a lower low. That is a crystal clear Class A bullish divergence. And as you guys know, oftentimes bullish divergence can signal that you're very close to finding a bottom. In addition, if you come over here and you look at the 1 week time frame, you can see that we have another very strong Class A bullish divergence. Price action is swinging up into a higher low, the RSI is swinging down into a lower low. And you can even go back to this previous low right here and you can see that price action is swinging up into a higher low and the RSI down into a lower low. So a lot more than just the monthly time frame. This is a huge bullish divergence on Bitcoin's weekly. The other thing that I want you to understand is just how oversold the RSI actually is right now. If you look at the levels that we are at, we have not been at these levels since 2022. Where was Bitcoin at these levels? 16,000. So right now we're seeing Bitcoin at 85,800 and it hasn't been this oversold since it was at 16,000. That right there tells you that price action does not match the current sentiment. Yeah, I'm not saying that things look as bullish as ever. However, I do not think we should see this much extreme fear. The reality is that Bitcoin is still clearly holding a higher macro low. That's not even an argument. Now, I am very reasonable. As I've been saying for a long time, if Bitcoin does lose the 74,000 range, then I will completely change my tune. If Bitcoin does end up putting in a lower low. Now, does that mean that I would not be expecting a bounce? No, it does not. If Bitcoin put in a lower low, I would still be expecting a bounce. However, with a lower low, there's a pretty good chance that we would then put in a lower high. And in turn, a lower high could signal a further downtrend. I know the level that a lot of people are watching right now is the 200 weekly moving average, this yellow line right here. Now, am I going to sit here and say that we cannot come down to retest this level? No, I am not. And oftentimes in a bear market, that is what happens. That's what a lot of people don't understand with a bear market. They don't understand what it actually is. It's just technical analysis doing technical analysis things. If you look at the previous bear market, we came down, we broke beneath the 200 weekly moving average, and then we bounced back above it but got rejected. After that, we then ranged beneath it for a few months, and then we finally got back above it. And then once we got back above it, we had another wick beneath it, and then we exploded from there. And then more importantly, you look at the previous bear market right before that. Where did we come down and retest? We came down and retested the 200 weekly moving average perfectly. And then you go back slightly further, the exact same thing right here in 2018. A perfect retest off of the 200 weekly moving average. So oftentimes that's what happens in a bear market is you come down and you retest this yellow line. So if we do end up doing that, then yeah, there's a good chance that this is or was a bear market. But as of right now, we have not done it and we have not actually lost macro support. I just want to make sure you guys understand that because there is so much misinformation out there right now. And I think it's very important that you actually understand and are able to form your own opinion. The other indicator that I want to point out is the stochastics in general. I point this out all the time because I think it's very important. Look at every single time in the past we've been extremely oversold on the stochastics. Extremely oversold back in February and March, we had a very strong move out of it. Extremely oversold back in August of 2024, very strong move out of it. Extremely oversold in December of 2023, very strong move out of it. And if you look throughout Bitcoin's history, it happens almost every single time. Same thing right here, August of 2023. So we are again extremely oversold. But as always, nothing is guaranteed in this market. I do not have a crystal ball. I cannot tell you what price action is going to do. All I can say is that I personally do not believe the current fear matches price action. I think a lot of people are significantly overreacting. But as always, if you guys are interested in market updates just like this and getting into projects super early in general, then I always recommend taking a look at my Discord. We're putting in work in the market 7 days a week. So if this is the kind of community that you'd like to be a part of, you can find the link right here on my YouTube homepage. And I'd love to have you guys in here with us. But that's about all. Let me know down in the comments how you guys are feeling about the market. If you enjoyed this content, please do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great rest of your day.